All right, welcome everyone to this session of Felt in Christ with Brent. Today's lesson is going to be a pelvic clock. So please lay on your back with your legs long. Take a moment to sense your contact with the floor. And if you need anything under your head, what parts of yourself move when you breathe? How easy is your breathing? Sense your length from the back of your head, down your spine to your sacrum. And then feel for the curves along your spine, the curves of your neck, curve of your ribs, where do your vertebrae touch the ground, and then how they come forward for your lower back, and then back down again for your sacrum. Can you feel your tailbone, your coccyx? At the very, very end of your spine, there's this bone that attaches to your sacrum that makes up the back of your pelvic floor. Does it feel like the left side of your sacrum makes contact with the ground compared to the right? Is one leg resting more fully into the ground than the other? Without trying to change anything, just simply noticing how you are right now. Making a map for future reference. What's the distance from your tailbone to your pubic bone? How about the width of your left hip to your right hip? Can you feel the bowl of your pelvis? The pelvic floor attaches to many different places on these bones. The pelvic floor is muscle, ligament. Ligaments are guide wires. Coccyx. And so many. So feel your pelvic floor now. How much of this region do you notice when you breathe? And there is an abdominal diaphragm as well as a urogenital one too. See if you can find a way to breathe into both. We're moving like a cylinder from your ribs all the way down to your pelvis. As you breathe in, the volume expands forward and back, left and right, up and down. And as you exhale, everything begins to contract. How smooth can you make this movement? While breathing in that smooth, steady way, please bend your left foot, your left knee, stay your left foot. And how does having one knee bent, one foot standing, influence the ability to breathe into your pelvic floor? Do you notice more air going towards the knee that's bent, or does it feel like it's going to the leg that's long? If you're noticing any differences in how your leg being bent influences the effects of your breathing, is it too much of an extrapolation to imagine that every posture affects your breathing in some way? And that whether you're sitting or driving or resting or in activity, that your shape of your limbs, spine will influence your ability to take in the most essential, right? We cannot deal with air the quickest compared to water and food. And the smoothness of breathing can make a difference in one's emotional state or mental state. So change over your legs. You have the left one long and the right one back. And notice as you breathe in with this idea of a cylinder, how does having your right leg bent influence where the air goes? It's not a place to reach or a destination to arrive at, in as much as the ability to pay attention to the process of breathing. Making distinctions between one breath and the next, now one posture, compared to the other, since this is the second experiment. Do you have a preference for which leg is bent based on ease, or comfort, or perhaps there's something changing more with one leg than the other, it's settling in? Now please bend both knees, stand both feet, find a comfortable position for your feet. And continue breathing in this gradual, patient way. Find places for your feet to support your knees. And sometimes throughout a couple of breath cycles over time, your feet want to move to new places that can do some muscular activity that's letting go. Feel free to reposition your feet now and throughout the lesson. Now begin on your exhale to bring the top of your sacrum and your lower back closer to the floor behind you. And as you inhale, just return to neutral. The lower back gets closer to the floor, the top of your sacrum makes more contact, your tailbone gets lifted away from the ground, and your pubic bone moves a little bit up towards your head. You feel this movement in your feet. You feel it in the back of your head. And now with your inhalation, begin to arch your lower back. Your tailbone gets closer to the ground. Your belly rises forward to the ceiling. And with your exhalation, just return to neutral. There's no distance to go other than in that direction. Neutral is zero, the origin of a breath. However small you move on your sacrum downward is sufficient. The idea is that your attention surrounds the movement, that it's coordinated with your breath, that as you inhale, you coordinate the belly coming forward and the weight shifting onto the lower part of your sacrum. If that little bit feels nice and pleasant, you're allowed to continue. There's no stretching, no trying to go past anything all the way that you can. Allow your sense of ease to determine how far you go. Pause in neutral for just a moment. Have a couple of breaths, nothing to do but just have your knees in the air. Feel the widths of your shoulders. The width of your hips. The balance of your feet. Now begin to alternate. When you exhale, the lower back goes back towards the floor. Inhale, your belly comes forward. The lower back arches away from the floor. In the course of doing this, you're rocking on your sacrum towards the top. And the lower back goes back. And towards the bottom, when your belly goes forward. Set your breathing. Diaphragm beneath your ribs, as well as this diaphragm in the pelvic floor. For any more clarity as to how your breath influences both limb muscles, limb structures, sphincters. Similar to your mouth, your nostrils, I believe wrists and ankles are limb structures are influenced by other limb structures that mirror and copy one another. Now just for a moment, hold your breath, breathe in and hold. Continue this movement with no coordination with the breath, but you have enough air, but you're not struggling for air. Just feel the articulation of bones on the ground, and away from the ground. And then resume your normal breathing. And now reverse, so that when you inhale, you're taking your lower back towards the floor, and when you exhale, you're bringing your lower back away from the floor. Now, as you exhale, hold your breath with very little air. And continue to move without straining. As soon as you need air, take some in. And then exhale again. And practice this 2, maybe 3 times with just a little bit of air. Do you have more or less sensation in your working somatic memory when you have less air or more air? Leave it. Have a rest with your legs long if that's comfortable. Sense how you're making contact with the ground. When you breathe in, what's the shape of that cylinder? Notice it in both the ribs and the pelvic floor. Maybe more clearly. Stand on your feet again. Bend both knees. Find a comfortable place for your feet. Begin now to rock onto the left side of your sacrum and then the right side of your sacrum. Do your best to keep your knees pointed to the ceiling, even if that means rocking a bit less. But it's a different movement if the knees participate than if the knees are pointed forward. Keep your weight shifted on the left side of your sacrum. You get to roll your head to the right and to the left. But your lower spine is rotated left and fixed in that position. And now shift your weight on the right side of your sacrum. Same idea. Rolling your head left and right. Is there a difference in any of your experiences of breathing with your head shifted one side compared to the other? Return your sacrum to the middle. Lower your head with your sacrum in the middle. Does your head have a preference to go to one side compared to the other? Does the easier side tend to influence your sacrum more clearly? Do you notice your sacrum moving with your head in the opposite direction of your head? Try to keep it in neutral, but just notice that, like all things, nothing is perfectly still. And just notice how much bias there is, at what time. Now move the opposite, so that when you walk on the right side of your sacrum, your head rolls to the left. Your head rolls to the right, you're on the left side of your sacrum. It's a twisting movement. Notice if your shoulders are involved at all, if one's moving forward and back. The knees are staying towards the ceiling. Bring both back to neutral. Leave your head where it is, and move your rock on your sacrum up and down. That was the first sequence of movements where your lower back got away from the floor and then closer to. Has that changed at all? Coordinate it with your breathing. So when you breathe in, lower back comes away, so towards the bottom of your sacrum, or you breathe out. The lower back goes back and towards the top of your sacrum. Now return to neutral just a few times, left and right. Allow your head to be free. Keep your knees pointed to the ceiling. Leave it. Lengthen your legs if that's comfortable. Have the best. With your legs low, begin to make those 4 cardinal directions. Top and bottom a few times. Roll on your sacrum. And then left and right. And with your legs long, of course, the backs of your legs making contact with the ground prevent as much movement, which requires more acuity on your part to engage. After a few of those, bend your left knee, stand your left foot. Once again, those cardinal directions of up and down, left and right. There's the bias, the up and down. It's easier to roll to your left and to your right. Change over your legs. After a few up and downs, go left and right. If you've had any asymmetric injuries, or you do asymmetric work, or you have a posture of crossing one leg over the other, you may notice that one option feels different than the other with this asymmetric posture. And have a rest with your legs long. The lesson isn't over yet, but just notice how you feel. Notice your breathing. Where is the center of your breath? Is it in your chest, your diaphragm, your belly, your heart, which is just beneath your belly button? Is your breath any more full than that in the beginning? Any more smooth? Bend both knees, stand both feet. A little bit wider than before. 12%, 15% wider. And whichever way is easiest for you, right, left, down, up, go that direction. And stay to that side and begin to make an arc towards the easiest point from there. And follow that arc and continue around making a circle now. It doesn't have to be big, but it needs to be round. And the 4 points are being connected through ideally a similar arc, and that if one side is difficult, then that arc becomes smaller and the others follow suit, so that the circle is round. However little, it's just fine. The ability to organize that movement so that it's clear. If you are imagining yourself drawing on plotter paper behind you, weight sensitive paper, your goal is to make nice circular designs. If there's places where it's just not possible to make a circle, stay there and go a little bit to either side. Smooth out. Staying well within your comfort zone, well within, it's not a stretch, it's a difficult area that you're allowing yourself to spend more time nurturing. Once you have one smoothed out, keep going around in a circle until you find another one. That same idea of going back and forth in an arc-like fashion. And change directions of the circle now. Allowing this new direction to determine how big to make the circle because it's not about the size. Sometimes doing the same movement in an opposite direction can be a very different experience. And that's okay. Now find a place where there's some resistance or some difficulty. Go from one side to the next. Different arc. The difference between a straight line and an arc is immense in terms of the amount of coordination required. After a few of those, continue to make the circle. Noticing if having practiced that a little bit, has it led to any differences? If there's any other places that grab your attention, feel free to investigate those in a similar way. Now alternate the direction of the circle, letting it smoother now. And reverse once more. I feel this in my ankles. It feels fantastic. This weight shifting on the feet. Feeling the back of my head. My neck is feeling free. Oh, lengthen the legs, have a rest. Set your contact with the floor. This is a final rest. How much weight do you sense making a contact that you would describe as flush or full or grounding? Do you feel comfortable laying here? Notice the shape of your breath. Your ribs expand. Belly maybe as well. Feel this movement all the way down the pelvic floor. This is a great preparatory lesson for pelvic floor work, for breathing, relieving tension from sitting and driving. When you feel ready, stand both knees, stand both feet, and tilt your knees to either side, and bring yourself into standing. But you're welcome also to just savor any desire to rest And just be grounded on the floor as well. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Feel free to leave any comments with questions. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.